Hi folks, today we're going to take a look at Press NH Now, where he gives us an update of why he was arrested and why he's currently in jail. But before we start today's video, as always, a big thank you to all my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without all of your support, I couldn't get this channel going, so I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. And a quick word for today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Aura. It's that time of year again. Stores are full of shoppers, and Mariah Carey comes out of her icy thaw to demand her tribute as always. And with us traveling and shopping online more, we need to keep our online security safe, and this is where today's sponsor can help, Aura. Aura is an online digital security that protects your data with 24-hour monitoring of your personal data, your credit, and make sure your data doesn't get sold off to data brokers. And with it being the holiday season, we do a lot more traveling, and we're going to be on public Wi-Fi a lot.
I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
And doing online shopping can leave your data open to data thieves and data brokers selling off your data, and hackers and scammers trying to get your info, but you can make your data safe. Aura is offering you a free 14-day trial by clicking my link, aura.com/NCR, or scanning the QR code. You can cancel at any time. So let Aura help keep your data safe this holiday season. That's aura.com/NCR, or scan the QR code, or click the link down in the description box and start your free 14-day trial. Thank you again to Aura for sponsoring today's video, and don't forget to sign up for your free 14-day trial. Not only is it the best way to keep your personal data and your financial data safe, but it's the best way to help support me and the channel. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
Alright guys, hey, what's up? It's Press NH Now over at the Grafton County Department of Corrections in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Apparently, I have been jailed for the last few days, and I'm going to give you guys an update. I don't know if you can you see the chat?
And how about, can you hear us?
And can you hear us? If you can hear me, hit a 1. If you need help with audio and cannot hear me, hit a 2. I'll give you a couple seconds, guys. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. This is an update video on my arrest entertainment.
We got a lot of ones, Press. Whole bunch.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your support, guys. I really do. I'm giving you an update from the Grafton County Department of Corrections here in Haverhill, New Hampshire. I have a couple things I want to go over, and I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. I know that...
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Video the other day wasn't very appealing to you guys, as you know, you didn't really understand why I was here. I couldn't talk. It was a stream that just kept going, that I had somebody do for me. They weren't very familiar with what was going on. I did want to let you know the situation, and that was I've been detained and arrested since as of Monday of this week, or last week, as you may call it. So my update on my arrest and my detention right now, like I said, I'm going to be fully transparent. It is a personal matter. I was arrested for a protective order violation that I had a warrant since August. To be honest, there was a restraining order that was a frivolous restraining order from my ex that was issued back in, I think, July. And I ended up moving to Florida at the end of July, very beginning of August. There was a warrant issued, I think, in late August, if not September, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so you were arrested for violating a no contact order, which you had a warrant issued out for your arrest, which does make a lot of sense, seeing as you don't want to give out your personal information to cops, so they couldn't really check you out for that warrant until, well, later on. Now, most non-contact orders do state that you must not contact them via telecommunication, in person, written letter, or through social media, or by third party. So, meaning, Press NH Now must have violated the protection order in one of those manners. Now, Is he guilty of this? I don't know. He did have a warrant issued out. That means there was some validity to it, and he was arrested for this. Let's continue on to see how transparent he's really going to be.
So I didn't run to Florida for my warrant, as people may have think or thought. I did not have a warrant. I moved to Florida to completely change my whole surroundings, my life, everything involved that I have personally going on, and go from there. So I do want to let you guys know I was arrested for a restraining order violation. The big question here is, am I guilty of it? No. It was conspiracy between the Lebanon PD and my ex-girlfriend. Okay?
Right.
The restraining order violation investigation, anyway, was 1 day prior to the dismissal of that restraining order. And about 2 months later, a warrant was issued. So I called the Lebanon PD about a week and a half ago, and I set up a time to turn myself into New Hampshire and get this all wrapped up as I should. I'm innocent. I'm not worried about it. I wasn't running. Lebanon PD knows that, but they held me out on no bail. So I am currently incarcerated with absolutely no bail right now. I'm fine. Everything's good. It's okay. And I do have a lot of friends, supporters, everybody here that's helping me. I do want to let you know that I do have an attorney. And I have not been in touch with him. I have had a family member in touch with him, but he's going to be getting in touch with me later on this week, and we're going to be filing a bunch of motions to try to get me out of here. And I will return back to court. I've never been arrested. I've never been, let's say, not arrested, but I've never been charged and convicted of any domestic assault, anything domestic related. I don't hit women. It's not on my record. It never will be on my record. This restraining order is bullshit.
Shenanigans.
Na 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 na.
Shenanigans.
Na 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 na.
And we're calling shenanigans, folks. Not on the claims of him never putting hands on women, because I don't know his criminal record like that. However, it has been brought up on other channels, like Andre Sloan's, where he has had prior restraining orders issued out by his partners. Now, there was the infamous arrest of him and his partner at the time from like 2 or 3 years ago, where he failed to cooperate, and they were saying that the order of protection was canceled, but there was no proof of that in the state records. Hence why he was arrested. Now, the accusations of it being a frivolous restraining order, that is something that we can't really say because I don't have access to those court documents. However, if the court deemed that the evidence provided was enough to substantiate the need to have a protection order issued, then it wouldn't be a false protection order.
And I was set up between my ex and the Lebanon PD, who has had it out for me for a very long time. And she saw her opportunity and took it. So that's my update on my arrest. The next thing I want to do is I want to expose a few things that I've noticed in several different areas. Starting with the Lebanon PD. Lebanon PD, obviously, I just told you, was conspiring with my ex-girlfriend regarding this restraining order. And what happened, long story short, is that the day before it was dismissed, that I put a motion in for this restraining order to get dropped, what happened was she sent me a Snapchat. She sent me a Snapchat request and reported it to the police, saying that I accepted it and that I was communicating. There's absolutely no communication. I would never do that the day before the hearing for this to get dropped, which it did the next day. It's ridiculous. So they went out and got a warrant. A few weeks later, or a month later, they did their investigation. Apparently, they got a warrant for Snapchat and so forth, and conspired and got a warrant for my arrest. So that's with the Lebanon PD.
Let's address this Snapchat thing, because if you're saying you didn't initiate the request, then you wouldn't have been issued the warrant, because you're saying that the police got a warrant to get the records from Snapchat. The records would show you didn't initiate the request to connect to them on Snapchat, but they did. It would show that who had sent the request in those records. And if you're saying that your ex did that, then she would be the one in violation of the protection order for trying to initiate contact. But if the records are showing that you did it, then you would still be in violation, even if it's a day before the hearing and you knew this was going to get dropped. But then again, this is all your word, and I don't have anything to disprove it, but I'm going based off of what you're telling us. And what you're telling us isn't really adding up.
They also took my vehicle, my rental vehicle, and they impounded it from the PD that I drove to. They impounded it when I told them I was going to have somebody pick it up. Over to Midnight Towing in Lebanon, New Hampshire. I told them, don't tow it, somebody's coming to pick it up. Now, I cannot return that vehicle because they will not release it to anybody else. So now I'm being charged for the midnight towing all week, and as long as that vehicle is there, which nobody else is able to get it out. And I'm also getting charged through Thrifty at the Manchester airport as well. So I'm getting a double whammy on that one, thanks to Lebanon PD, who was told not to tow the vehicle and people were on the way to get it. And they did that purposely. So now I'm getting charged from two different entities, Thrifty and Midnight Towing.
Now, the police really can't give the rental car to anybody other than the rental car company or the person who signed the lease for the rental car and who's on that documentation. If no one else but Mark is on there, then they can't legally give out that car. Now, it would be impounded and Mark would be responsible to pay the impounding fees. And since the car is rented out to him, he would still have to take care of the financial responsibilities with the lease agreement when it comes to renting the car. So it's not really that big of a deal. Yes, you will have to pay to take care of that once you get out of jail, but this is your responsibility. You could have just had somebody who had their own car drive you and drop you off or wait for you and see what happens, but this is your own doing.
All right, guys. So the second thing is the jail here. I've noticed a lot of different things going on at this jail. For one, they're letting absolutely nobody out on bail. They're holding everybody here until their plea deals are expired. They'll hold them until their maximum penalty is expired, and then cut them a plea deal, and then cut them loose. So they're holding everybody hostage here just for their own wins.
Dramatization may not have happened.
The second thing is, 1 second, guys. They have a, I don't know if you've ever heard of Priya, and make sure you check out the description, guys, on this as well. This is going to explain a lot of what this is. Priya, I'm not going to say it online, but there's an auditor coming here on 12/8 and 12/10. Her name is Amy Fairbanks. They have a poster that is legally supposed to be posted regarding this, that is inside the facility here, and they were supposed to put it on the board on 10/24/25 legally, so people here at the facility can report things to the auditor for malpractices, assaults, stuff like that. So on 10/24 they posted, they were supposed to on 10/24, and they didn't put it there on the board until 11/24 of this year.
Now we have some more discrepancies here. If you're unfamiliar with what PREA is the Prison SA Elimination Act. I did have to substitute the word that it's actually standing for due to the YouTube guidelines. However, it's meant for people to report any forms of SA or harassment or assaults or violations to their auditors so they can investigate. However, they don't have to just write the auditor themselves. They can actually make grievances through the jail facility they're in, the prison, correctional facility, or through third-party contacts through their family or lawyers to contact a PREA representative to get them to come do the audit. Now, he's saying that they were supposed to post it on 10/24, but they didn't post it until 11/24. That would be a violation because they're required to post notification that a PREA auditor is going to be making their way into the facility 45 days before that happens. And if he's saying that they posted it and they're going to be there on 10/8 and 10/24, that does seem a bit fishy. However, we're taking Mark at his own words here.
It's supposed to be, the inmates are supposed to reach out to this person by mail by 12/1/2025. Again, the audit is supposed to be done on 12/8, 12/10. Submissions to this auditor for complaints are supposed to be submitted by 12/1. It was posted on 11/24, and it was supposed to be posted on 10/24. So they were a month late and did that on purpose so people cannot redress their grievances towards this auditor come in for sexual assault, different complaints regarding the facility, and so forth and so on. So that's a huge, huge deal. Another thing I've noticed is they're taking inmates' mattresses as a form of punishment. Somebody closed their door the other day, and they took their mattress. They had taken their canteens for not making their bed. They're contaminating people's food who have allergies. Here's another kicker, guys. New Hampshire medical assistants, their health insurance gets shut off automatically when they come here, when they're admitted. And what happens is that the taxpayers of Haverhill, New Hampshire, have to pay that bill. And then they go back and charge the inmates anyways when they leave.
Now let's address what he just brought up. If the inmates are having issues with food being contaminated with allergens that could be affecting them, that's something they need to address with the COs, because then they need to monitor who's working in the kitchen, and if they're not paying attention to the health and safety concerns that they are supposed to be given, because to earn that position you must be trusted, then they need to address that so they can remove them. When it comes to the punishment aspects of taking somebody's mattress or their canteen, that's a common practice in a lot of jails and prisons as a form of punishment for violating the rules and policies inside the correctional facilities. Now, the last thing he brought up is the removal of their Medicaid benefits. Now, it states in the New Hampshire benefits packages when you sign up for them, even on their websites, that if a person is incarcerated in a jail or prison, that their benefits would be suspended and they would be unrolled until they got out, but would still have access to re-enroll and get their benefits back once they were released. Now, if they are in an inpatient facility seeking treatment, then Medicaid would still be in play and they can take care of themselves and have that pay for some of their treatments.
There's been multiple allegations of sexual assault on the woman's side. There's been multiple investigations at this prison or jail. The superintendent is Tim Lethbridge. So if you guys want to redress and petition your government, you can always do so. All the links and description and the comment, it should all be there. This place is ridiculous. The prosecution is frivolous. Okay? Her name is Tracy Connolly. She's over at the Lebanon PD. All information is in the description if you'd like to redress the petition. This place is out of control at the Grafton County Department of Corrections here in Haverhill, New Hampshire. It is outright ridiculous. They're holding people hostage here. They're not giving them bail, all the way from the courts to the judges and the prosecution and now the jail staff. It's crazy. I'm going to be getting in touch with my attorney. I'm going to be filing multiple motions and try to get myself out of here. I'm okay. I'm all right. It's not, the inmates are not bad here. We're all working together because of the staff and the corrupt system. So apparently this whole jail here is the only jail in New Hampshire for the Department of Corrections that apparently take your health insurance from New Hampshire, that provides it for you from the state.
Again, this is false. Due to the fact that when you sign up for New Hampshire State Medicaid, they do give you a packet which does give you all the information that tells you what would qualify, what would get you disqualified, and what would happen if somebody was incarcerated. Simply being incarcerated doesn't mean they remove all of your benefits. They simply suspend your state-provided Medicaid. The jail facilities and the prisons are required to provide you with health care. And if they choose to make you pay that back, then that is a policy with the State Department of Corrections, not the Medicaid department. Again, they are suspending their benefits because they are incarcerated, and they agreed to that when they signed up for state Medicaid. It says so in the paperwork.
And then charges you for it. For all your medications, all your treatment, and your drug addiction treatment. They don't even give them Suboxone. They don't give them any medication here. They make them go cold turkey, get sick. It's outright ridiculous. Okay, the stuff I've seen here. I've been held in jails before, but nothing like this. So again, if you'd like to seek and petition your government, you could always do so. I'm being fully transparent here, guys, with you. This is my personal business. I don't like to mix that, with my auditing, but this does have a lot to do with the government, obviously, with the court system and the prosecutor and the jail, and just frivolous allegations on myself. It's just outright wrong. On so many different levels. And I'm not the only one here that they're holding for this violation of restraining order. I mean, there's people here that have restraining orders that have done much worse than what I've ever been accused of. And that's apparently accepting a friend request on Snapchat. That's what I'm here for, being held on.
Okay, but the issue is you accepted the request, knowing that you were still under the guidelines of the protection order. Accepting the request still would violate it. Now, that's something you could argue with the judge once you would have had your hearing to have it dismissed, that, hey, she sent me a friend request the day before. I didn't do anything but accept it. I didn't make any contact after that. Here's the records and the logs. And you probably could have got this taken care of. But your story's changing from you didn't send a request, but now you're saying you accepted the request. This seems kind of fishy here.
And I don't even use Snapchat. It's the kicker. Also, I do have a lot of attorney fees for this. I'm going to be doing a lot more investigations here. I will be keeping you updated as much as possible. Try to get my friends to make posts for my YouTube channel, live streams, videos, whatnot, whatever they can do. I do still appreciate all your support, guys. I do greatly appreciate all your donations. I do still have PayPal and Cash App. There's no obligation. It will go towards my legal funds. I do have a canteen here, but those also go towards my phone calls. I don't care about food. The phone calls for my canteen I can use to make phone calls to my attorney. Well, my attorneys are free usually. But friends, family, stuff like that, I can use my canteen money. It's 21 cents a minute. If you guys want to help, I'd appreciate it.
And we're going to hear, folks, the remainder of this phone call is him trying to play victim, saying that this is frivolous and a conspiracy against him by the police and his ex. And he does encourage people to redress their issues with the jail, the warden of the jail, the prosecutor, and he needs to be careful. Lane Myers and the Armed Fishman did similar acts, and both of them were punished for that. Look at Craig Hendry. He just got done doing 6 months in the Vermilion County Jail for harassing government officials. So if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel, the podcast, and don't forget to sign up for your free 14-day trial with Aura. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I will see you guys next time. And a very special thank you to all members of the news team. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep this channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys mean the world to me, and I can never thank you enough. You guys rock.